Welcome to Martin Makes Sense of AI, where I sort through the noise and bring you one important AI story every day. This week, workers at several American government contractors say they received a blunt instruction. Stop using Claude, remove Anthropic software, and move your work somewhere else. The notices themselves are not independently verified government documents, but the conflict behind them is real. By the end of this video, you will understand what is confirmed, what is still anecdotal, and the 5-step exit plan that can stop your job or business from being trapped inside any single AI company. The immediate spark was a post in the Claude community on Reddit. The writer said their company had received a United States government directive requiring a company-wide stop to Anthropic products, services, and models, with an internal cutoff of August 31st. The message covered more than the Claude website. It named desktop apps, Claude Code, application programming interfaces, models accessed through other platforms, and even suppliers that depended on Anthropic. Within a day, the post had more than 700 votes and hundreds of comments. Several commenters said their employers had received similar instructions. A second discussion asked whether other government contractors were seeing the same thing. That is meaningful evidence of anxiety and possible rollout activity. It is not the same as a published nationwide order. We do not know the employers, and I cannot authenticate their internal emails. That distinction matters because a dramatic headline is easy. A trustworthy story has to keep the uncertainty visible. Here is the verified background. On February 27th, the United States General Services Administration publicly supported a presidential direction for federal agencies to cease using Anthropic technology. The dispute began after Anthropic refused to remove 2 safeguards from military use of Claude, one concerning mass surveillance of Americans and another concerning fully autonomous weapons. The government said it would use AI only lawfully and argued that a private supplier could not decide military policy. Anthropic said some boundaries should not disappear simply because the customer is powerful. Then, on March 5th, the Pentagon formally designated Anthropic a supply chain risk. That label was extraordinary because such tools are normally associated with hostile or compromised suppliers, not a major American AI laboratory. The practical threat extended beyond one government contract. Companies working with the government could also be forced to remove Claude from their own systems. This is why the new employee notices feel plausible, even though the individual posts remain unverified. Now the important complication. On March 26th, a federal judge issued a preliminary injunction, pausing part of the government's action. The GSA then withdrew its earlier announcement and restored Anthropic technology to the procurement status that existed before February 27th. In a separate case, however, an appeals court allowed a Pentagon supply chain designation to remain in place while litigation continued. Then in June, a different national security dispute temporarily restricted foreign access to Anthropic's newest Fable and Mythos models before those restrictions were lifted. If that sounds confusing, it is. There is no honest way to compress several agencies, statutes, and court cases into the sentence. Claude is simply banned everywhere. A better description is this: access to a leading AI provider has become a moving legal and compliance target, and some contractors now report that the deadline is landing on their desks. The court battle may eventually change the rules again. Their internal transition work cannot wait for a perfect final answer. You can support Anthropic's safeguards, oppose them, or ignore the politics completely. The business lesson is the same. Most of us do not own the intelligence we are building into our work. We rent it. A model can disappear because of regulation, a lawsuit, a contract dispute, a price change, a country restriction, a safety decision, or an ordinary product shutdown. And the dependence is often invisible. A programmer may think they use Cursor, while the important feature underneath is a Claude model. A company may think it uses Microsoft or Amazon, while an Anthropic model sits inside the managed service. A team may store its best instructions inside a chatbot's private memory, then discover those instructions cannot travel cleanly to another model. The danger is not only losing access. It is losing the small, accumulated choices that made the tool useful. Your examples: preferred tone, document structure, evaluation rules, and corrections. That is your operational knowledge. If it lives only inside one vendor's interface, you do not really control it. So here's the exit plan. Step 1. Keep a provider-neutral source of truth. Put your important prompts, examples, checklists, brand voice, and output rules in ordinary documents that you control. Use plain text, markdown, spreadsheets, or other open formats. Do not let 6 months of corrections exist only in a chatbot history. For a personal workflow, this can be one simple context file. For a company, it should be a versioned library with an owner and a review date. Step 2. Make an AI dependency map. Write down every place a model enters the workflow, including the tools that hide the provider from you. Ask 4 questions. Which model is doing the work? What data does it receive? What would break if it vanished tomorrow? And who can approve a replacement? This sounds boring until the removal email arrives. Then it becomes the most valuable page in the building. If this kind of practical, evidence-first AI coverage is useful to you, subscribe to Martin Makes Sense of AI. The goal is not to fear every tool. It is to use powerful tools without becoming helpless without them. Step 3. Keep one warm backup, not 10 subscriptions. One credible alternative that you test on a small but important task every month. Build an evaluation pack of perhaps 20 real examples. The awkward customer email, the spreadsheet explanation, the code repair, the research summary, the paragraph that must sound like you. Remove private data, save the inputs, and define what a good answer means. Then run the same pack through your main model and the backup. You will learn where the replacement is weaker before an emergency, not during one. This also protects you from a subtler problem. A new provider may produce a fluent answer that looks fine while quietly missing a requirement your old workflow handled automatically. People call that migration finished because the screen still contains words. It is not finished until the result passes your tests. My own rule would be simple. For a critical workflow, the backup should be able to reach acceptable quality within 1 working day, using instructions and examples you already own. Step 4. Separate your data from the model. Store source documents, customer records, and project files in systems you control, and pass only the necessary context into AI. A model's convenient memory should be a copy of what matters, not the only copy. Step 5. Rehearse the exit. Once every 3 months, choose one workflow and run it without the primary provider. Time, how long the switch takes. Record what breaks. Update the instructions. This is the AI version of checking a smoke alarm. A little annoying, much cheaper than discovering the battery is dead during a fire. For an individual creator, the drill might be writing one script with a backup model. For a business, it could be rerouting a support queue for an hour. You do not need identical performance. You need a safe minimum that keeps work moving while you decide what comes next. The irony is that portability can make you more willing to use AI, not less. When leaving is possible, adopting the tool feels like a decision rather than a hostage negotiation. The most important question in this story is not whether Claude wins its court fight. It is whether your work can survive if your favorite AI loses access to you. Use the best model you can. Let it save time. Let it improve your work. Just keep the instructions, data and exit door in your own hands. That is what Martin Makes Sense of AI is here to do. Bring you one important AI story every day, separate the evidence from the noise, and explain what it actually means for you. If you prefer to listen, you can also find the Martin Makes Sense of AI podcast here on YouTube. Subscribe for the next story, and tell me in the comments, if your main AI disappeared tomorrow, how much of your work could you move by Friday?